So now we have question number 2 on the screen, that is cork cambium forms tissues that forms the cork. Do you agree with this statement? If yes, then explain. Yes, we totally do agree with the statement. That statement is cork cambium forms tissues that forms the cork. How? Let's understand. First of all, when the secondary growth takes place in dicot stem and roots, whenever the secondary growth takes place in case of dicot root and stems, which is not going to take place in monocot stem and roots. So during the growth or during the secondary growth in dicot stem and roots, the epidermal layer in these dicot root and stem gets broken down. During the secondary growth in dicot stem and roots, the epidermal layer gets broken down. So to replace these epidermal cells, cork cambium develops there to provide protection to the stem and roots from infections. Alright, to replace all these epidermal broken cells, for providing protection to the stem and roots from infection, a new thing which is known as cork cambium develops from the cortical region. This cork cambium is also known as phallogen, and this layer contains or is composed of thin-walled rectangular cells. Cork cambium is also known as phallogen. Now, what does it do? First of all, this cork cambium have bipolar division. Now, what does that mean? This means that this cork cambium cuts off the cells on both the sides. This cork cambium is going to form the cells on both sides, that is on outer side and on the inner side. Now the cells present on the outer side is going to form a cork layer or a protective layer of cork, which is also known as phloem, while the cells present on the inner side is going to form another type of tissue, that is secondary cortex, which is also known as phalloderm. Now, this cork cambium is actually impervious to water, but it allows gaseous exchange through lenticels. Lenticels are also present on the outside. Now, all these layers such as phallogen, phallon, and also your phalloderm, all these 3 layers constitute together to form a new layer known as periderm. So this is all about the explanation of question number 2, and now we are going to write answer number 2 on the screen. So here, let's start writing answer. Yes, we totally do agree. First of all, we write yes, we do agree with the statement, Then we have to explain why do we agree with the given statement. So answer will go like this: when the secondary growth takes place in dicot root and stems, the epidermal layer gets broken down. So, to replace the epidermal cells, there is a need to form cork cambium to provide protection why this cork cambium is actually developing or forming to provide protection, to stem and root from infection, right? Why the cork cambium is getting developed? This is going to form to provide protection to stem and roots from infection, because during the secondary growth in dicot stem and roots, the epidermal layer gets broken down. All the cells in the epidermal layer gets destroyed. That is why, to provide protection to the stem and root of dicot plants, there is a need to form cork cambium, a special kind of tissue which is providing protection to them, right? So this is the purpose. Now, what does this cork cambium actually do? This cork cambium have a special function, that is bipolar division. Bipolar division is present in it. What does that mean? That means it cuts off the cells on both sides, Now on the outer side, the cells are differentiated into protective cork known as phallum, while the cells on inner side forms secondary cortex known as falloderm. Now, this cork cambium cuts off all the cells on both the sides. The outer cells are going to differentiate into this layer which is known as phallum, which is protective in nature, which is going to protect the stems and roots. And on the inner side, which are the cells which are present on the inner side, are going to form secondary cortex, which is also known as falloderm. All right. Now, this cork cambium is actually impervious. It does not allow water. Transport. So it is impervious to water, but allows gaseous exchange through lenticels. Right? Now, this phallogen plus phallum and falloderm, all these constitute to form a new layer which is known as periderm. So all these constitute to form periderm, or we can call this layer which is constituting all these three layers such as phallogen, phallum and falloderm on the inner side. The inner side one is falloderm and on the outer side it is phallogen. Right, the phallum. So all these three layers together are forming a new layer which is known as periderm. So with this we have completed the solution number 2.